cannot believe it. Like, this was one of the craziest experiences I've ever had in my entire life, honestly.
Yeah, especially on the date. This was the craziest date I've ever been on in my life. One, it was the first date. So, like, that's what kind of put the, you know what I mean, the nail in the coffin. But out of all the dates that I've possibly been on, or whatever the case is, it was never like this.
But it wasn't the worst.
Most definitely was the worst.
It was the worst?
Y'all gonna see why it was the worst in a minute. Merry Vlogmas! Welcome back to another Vlogmas. My name is TeVaughn.
And my name is Jahara.
And this is The Richest Tradition. So, as y'all can see from the title of this video, it is story time.
Yes, it is.
It should be very interesting.
Make sure y'all have y'all mugs because this is some hot tea, okay?
Right. Let me take a sip.
We're gonna start off with my perspective. In the beginning, you know, we was texting and stuff. He was like, no, I want to see you. Let's go on a date. So I'm like, okay, bet. We had agreed on a Saturday. And I'm like, oh my goodness, I don't have any clothes. Like, I don't know what to wear. I mean, obviously I have clothes, but I just want to jump fresh.
Right.
So especially because just knowing how he be coming. So I'm like, you know, I got to match that energy. I ended up going to Charlotte Russe. Shout out to Charlotte Russe. Your girl ain't never got too much money to shop at Charlotte Russe. They got good deals and their clothes are so cute. But anyway, I had got me a red dress and a pink dress. Now, the pink dress I was hesitant on because I never wore a bright pink. But I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna rock out with it. I can see it. So, bought that. And then I had some clear heels and I had my little Louis Vuitton purse. So, anyway, we texting and I'm like, okay, like, when are you gonna be here? But this dude kept giving me the runaround the whole time, like, our best friend in town and, you know, we about to do this, but I'm still gonna be on my way. And I'm like, all right, you know what? This our first date, so I ain't even about to sweat you. I'm just gonna have it in my head already that you're not even about to come. Then he calls me and like, yeah, you know what you doing? I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? That's what I didn't say that to him, but in my head, I'm like, what do you mean? What am I doing? I'm waiting for you to come. Like, the food restaurant is about to be closing in a couple hours. Like, what's going on? Mind you, he stays in a whole different city than what I do. So I'm like, what's the hold up? He ends up texting me like I'm like 30 minutes away or something. So I'm like, oh, this is real. He really pulled up. Like, I've been psyched myself into thinking that he wasn't even about to pull up. And here you did, you pulled up. Mind you, in the process, you know, I'm getting my makeup together and all of that. I ended up being the one to run late. I was the one that was running late. So he's like, where are you at? Like, what's going on? So I'm like, I'm on my way. I'm like 15 minutes. Now, when I got out the car, I was looking for him because I've never been to this restaurant. This is both of our first time going to this restaurant. And this guy from across the street, man, I'm talking old head for real. He had on the long jersey. It was a blue jersey.
It was blue and yellow.
No, it was blue and white.
Oh, blue and white.
Yeah, it was blue and white.
It was a FUBU though.
Really?
Yeah.
I think he had like a blue cap. Oh, he was just blue from the top to the bottom. He like, you look so beautiful. Mind you, we on two opposite sides of the street. And I'm like, okay, thank you. Like, I'm not rude. Okay, thank you. I keep walking. I'm trying to figure out where my date is at. He started getting closer. I'm like, he keep, man, you so beautiful. What's your name? I'm like, thank you, but no thank you. And kept it moving. Mind you, it's a whole crowd of people that's literally watching me get harassed in public. Like, nobody's saying like, hey, back up off him. Like, I thought I was gonna have to pull out the strap that I don't even got.
That's what she called me.
So then I called him like, hey, I don't know where you're at. I think I'm here, but somebody is literally chasing me out by the restaurant.
So now that y'all have her side of the story, I'm gonna tell y'all my side of the story up until we met. My best friend, Isaiah, he came into town. He lives in St. Louis, Missouri. And I haven't seen him in, you know, quite some time. And it was just unfortunate that me and her had this date planned, but then I haven't seen my best friend. So it's like go on a date on time with a girl that you don't know, or spend some quality time with your best friend that been there since day one. I'm like, I needed to figure out like a even balance, because I really wanted to go on this date, but I really wanted to, you know, be with my best friend. In the midst of me being with Isaiah, we're trying to figure out couple dates. We even did, what did we
were gonna try to do the escape room.
Yeah, the escape room and stuff like that, but stuff wasn't working out. Cause even Isaiah was like, man, I'll go down there with you, because we really wanted to spend time with each other. So I'm like, man, bro, look, we gonna get together soon. I ditched my best friend to go on the date.
You ditched
So I'm like, you know what? I just need to go ahead and meet this girl. I ended up getting on the road. I get to the Creole restaurant. I'm waiting inside the Creole. Well, first of all, I call her and ask her, was she even here, or even, like, you know, there at the restaurant. And she was like, no, I'm still putting my makeup on. I'm on my way. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I go inside the restaurant, get the table, sitting down. I'm a little nervous because I'm like, dang, like she was rushing me. Now
Now the table's been turned, so now he thinking in his head, dang, did she ditch me?
But at the same time, I knew that she wasn't finna let me just drive all the way down here for no apparent reason. Like,
who you know?
My gut told me that, because I wasn't ever wasting my time. When it comes to that, I was just waiting, you know, basically. I was just waiting for her to get there. And once she got there, she was like, this man is harassing me, basically. I had to get up, went to the street where she was at, and then I just stood at the end of the street at the light. The guy is still trying to talk to her, and I'm like, hey fam, she good, you know what I'm saying? And then he left her alone after that. And then I just got like mesmerized or something, because she was just so beautiful, standing in the middle of the sidewalk. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. Like, all my problems went away. Like, this beautiful, just, man, I don't even know. It was, I still see it right now. Like, I can still see it to this day. After that, I'm like, damn. She beautiful. You know what I'm saying?
But I was thinking, like, man, he is so handsome. And then, like, the way that TeVaughn dressed, too, like, that's just, like, movie star, like, celebrity. Like, oh, my goodness. He cleans up so well. I'm just like, dang, like, he looking good. He came out, you know, to protect me. You know, he wasn't playing. He ain't back down, even though he was younger and the dude was older. You know, he ain't back down. And it was just like, whew,
right.
You know?
And then I met her, you know what I'm saying? Because she was walking in the hills. So, you know, did the little gentleman style right here. And then we walked.
You know, I delicately, you know.
Delicately. So then we started walking towards the restaurant, and all eyes was on us, obviously, because we are the richest. You know what I mean? No, I said that in a humble way though. But you know, we went in and ordered our food. But
and he already had some wine waiting for your girl, sangria.
Dang,
I
was gonna get to that part.
Sorry.
Right. As we walking in, I already had our drinks ordered already, and I already had the drinks ready. And she was surprised that I even got the drink that she actually likes.
Yes, and I'm like, dang, he ordered a sangria. I love sangrias. I don't know if y'all remember like the real popular sangrias that came out. What was in the Capriccio or something like that, in that black bottle? Yeah,
I think it was that. Wasn't it called Capriccio?
I don't think it was that one though. I think it was just like a regular sangria. But either way,
I know exactly what you're talking about though. But here goes the fun part though, right? So waitress come out, she's asking us what we want to eat, right?
So you just gonna expose me like that?
Most definitely. We talking about our first day here. So Jahara didn't know exactly what she wanted. So she ordered one thing.
Because it was what? It was the gumbo.
Yeah, it was the gumbo, but then
it was the shrimp and grits. I know I ordered the shrimp and grits. And I think it was the gumbo.
But basically, she ordered two things. I'm sitting there like,
It was hard to decide. He was like, you know what,
just get both. But I wasn't expecting her to actually get both. She really got both. So look, I really appreciated her for being herself. You know what I'm saying? So at that point, we was just getting to know each other. You know, asking each other like questions, and we was just vibing. It was a really nice first date. You know what I'm saying? And then after that, we drove off. We went to you took me to the lake.
Yeah, it was like a little lake because I'm like, man, I don't want him to leave, but I'm like, he gotta leave because he ain't staying the night over here. You know, I don't do that. You ain't staying the night on the first night. But the vibe was just, you know, real cool, and I was just really feeling his energy.
Yeah, it was there.
So I'm like, stall. So I told him like, it's a little place if he had some more time on his hands. So we had ended up pulling up by the lake, and we were just sitting in the car, and it just had the little tunes on, you know, while we was just cuddled
just
up in the car, and, you know, just singing and stuff like that.
Obviously, it was about that time for me to head home.
Yeah,
so,
it was like 12.
Yeah, it was 12, and I had to drive all the way back to Grand Rapids, Michigan, which was it's only an hour away. But at that time, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, I gotta get home. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even expecting us to be on a date that long, but that spoke volumes. So on our way back to drop me off to my car, we get out the car, I'm taking pictures of her, you know what I'm saying, because we didn't take one picture. We were so into the moment. Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, we took a picture inside the restaurant, but she didn't get any individual pictures of herself. So she wanted me to take some pictures of her, and obviously I'm like, okay, cool, because she didn't take any of her, you know,
and then he had
the whole
a
day,
better phone than I do.
So
he was taking the pictures, and my phone and my keys was on top of the car when he was doing that.
So in the midst of me taking the pictures, a red Jeep truck pulls up right now.
Dodge.
At this point, it was tinted windows, and I'm like, so I look over to the right, but you know me, I just kept taking pictures, you know what I'm saying?
Neither one of us is from here. Yeah. I'm from Battle Creek. I'm in Lansing because of Michigan State.
Right.
So.
And I'm from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I'm on the date seeing her. So at this point, we just was like, okay, well, we still, you know, was minding our own business. I was taking pictures of her. So then they get out the car and was kind of looking.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, what you got going on? I'm like, hey fam, we not from here. You know what I'm saying? Just to let them know, like, we ain't from here. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not because I was scared or she was scared, but just to let y'all know.
I was scared. I don't know what he talking about.
Well, where I come from, stuff like that don't scare you. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey fam, we ain't from here. You know what I'm saying? And then he didn't say nothing. So I thought like they had a problem. You know what I'm saying? So I reached for my gun. And they didn't do nothing. They didn't do nothing, but I reached for my gun, and then one of the doors on the other side had open,
and then they walked around.
Yeah,
at that point,
I'm like backing up because, you know, when you got your gun license, you're not just automatically supposed to just shoot to kill. You know what I'm saying? Unless your life is in danger. I didn't feel like my life.
I felt like it was in danger. I was ready to hear some pew pew pew.
Yeah,
okay.
see now, if I would have done that, we wouldn't even be making this video. So I started backing up, right? So I noticed that they didn't do nothing, but she got in her car.
No.
I started backing up. Listen, look. I started backing up, and once I started backing up past her car, she got in her car, and then
he ain't back up, y'all. He ran to the whole different building.
I ran after she pulled off.
No, he did not.
Jar.
TeVaughn.
Jar. Why would Jar? Really?
You literally left me. He left me. He left me for dead at that point.
Listen, on everything. Once you got in the car and you pulled off, that's when I started running. How did you get all the way down the street before I even got to the corner, Jar?
You was running, so I had to run too.
Run too? You got in your car. Where did you run?
I had to run because remember
you was already in front of your car.
Oh, I was.
Right. What did you? Come on.
Whatever. Either which way, I'm in my car and I pull off. Mind you, my phone and my keys were on top of the car. So next thing I know, I hear like kind of, I thought somebody was shooting. So I'm trying to duck and dodge and drive and all of that. I'm skirting out. I'm thinking they behind me. I'm thinking I'm just on the chase or something. Then I'm like, I wonder what happened to him. Like,
right.
I thought that he got murked. So I'm like, I'm driving around. I'm trying to find the nearest person. I'm trying to flag people down so I can use their phone, so I could call him, so I could get a hold of him. Nobody is trying to help me. So the police was there. So I flagged the police down, and I told them, I'm like, I don't know what happened. These dudes came up. I'm not from here. All this other stuff. And then they followed me back to the spot to look for him, and he wasn't there. So I'm like, oh my goodness, like what happened? And yeah.
So while she was doing all of that, I ran around seeing some people kind of in the cut. My phone ended up dying, but luckily I have a good memory. I remember her phone number, so I'm calling her phone. I didn't
remember his. That was the bad part.
But I got
like, what's his number? What's his name? I'm like, y'all asking too many damn questions.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'm calling her phone, right? So first time it rang straight through. Second time it only rang like 3 times, and then at that point I'm like, she really tried to set me up for real. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking I was finna have to off her too, because I thought she was trying to kill me. So, and it just didn't, it just wasn't successful. So then the third time, this would really confirm that she tried to set me up, right? Because I thought when I called the second time, she just sent me the voicemail, because I forgot that her phone was on top of her car. So the third time, one of the dudes answered the phone. He was like, hey fam, her phone right here. I put it on top of this other car with her keys. And I'm like, what? So at this point, I'm like, that's weird. So I asked the people that I, use their phone. I asked my mans, I'm like, hey man, can you drop me off to my car? So he dropped me off to my car and whatever. And she still wasn't right there. So I ended up getting like almost halfway home, and then she calls like, where are you at, and all this. I'm with the police. And so I turned all the way back around, to make sure she was all right with the police. And then we didn't feel comfortable, leaving each other's sight at that point. So I ended up crashing at her house. So that's crazy though, how that all transpired.
And here we are today.
Vlogmas Day 6.
Yes.
Vlogmas Day 6, y'all. Look at that. A year and a half in.
Yeah.
So
thank you for tuning in.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all. Yeah, man. So once again, make sure you guys
comment that diamond so y'all can take these AirPods.
Right, yeah. they stand on the tree until Sunday. So just make sure you guys, like, comment that diamond and subscribe, and we'll see y'all soon.
Yeah.